Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our K-State Online Computer Science webinar. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy night after your probably busy day to join us. Here tonight with me, my name is Sarah Kells. I'm one of the admissions representatives with K-State Online, and I have Scott Deloach and Graham Leach-Krause from our computer science departments for undergrad and graduate degrees and programs. And they'll be talking a little bit more about all we have to offer on K-State Online. I would ask that you right now locate both the Q&A and the chat feature down below on this Zoom. We will be using the Q&A to answer any questions throughout this presentation. Questions that we can't answer at that time, we might wait until the end of the presentation to address. But right now in the chat, I want you to go ahead and locate that and tell us where you're from. And also, what program are you interested in? Are you interested in a certificate, a master's degree, bachelor's degree, and also where you're from? We would really like to know where everyone's coming from here tonight. And while those are coming in through the chat, we are going to just spend about 30 minutes, maybe a little more of our presentation going over some of the main points and of the programs that we offer and the career opportunities. And then we'll spend about 10-15 minutes at the end for any questions we did not address during the presentation. So yeah, definitely again in the chat, where are you from? What programs are you interested in? All right, computer science certificate. Awesome, keep those coming.
Are we ready for us to
go?
All right.
So let's go ahead and get started. I will let them take it away, but keep telling us where you're from.
Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Deloach. I am actually head of the Department of Computer Science here at K-State. And I'm going to be talking with you about a couple of these options. We're going to talk about first the Computer Science Certificate Program, and then Graham will talk about the Integrated Computer Science Program. And then I will talk a little bit more about our master's degree in computer science. All three of these programs are completely online, and so obviously that's why we're here today. The Computer Science Certificate is basically equivalent to the first 5 classes that we teach any of our undergraduate computer science students here at K-State. In fact, they are the same first 5 classes that you would take in the Integrated Computer Science program that Graham will be talking about. So the Computer Science Certificate stacks nicely with the Integrated Computer Science program. There are 5 courses you see listed here. We have an Introduction to Computing, which is kind of a broader introduction to computing, what it does, how it does, as well as a kind of a soft and general introduction to programming in Python. In CC 210, we really get into the core of computer programming, the fundamental concepts, and the nice point at this point in the program, you can actually choose whether you take the course in Python or Java, and that's strictly up to you which one of those you choose. And really, 210, 310, 315, and 410, you actually have that choice. 310 and 315 are data structure and algorithms courses. This is where we teach you about the data structures in programming and the algorithms you would use to manipulate those data structures. And you obviously then get a lot more practice at programming. And finally, the last course, the 5th course in the certificate, is advanced programming. And that's where we take all these things we've learned in 110, 210, 310, and 315, and really bring them all together, and you build significant programs that actually, are going to do something useful Not that what you're not doing to this point isn't a useful program, it's just a totally different scale. So once you complete 410, we feel like you're going to have the skills to be a really good computer programmer. Now, the nice parts of the program, unlike a lot of computer science program, there's no calculus. It's all algebra based. It also has a programming focus. We do not do a lot of theory in math in this program. So it's really focused on programming. And we use an immersive learning environment, which basically requires you only to have a web browser and a good connection to the internet. It has your programming environment built in. It has the textbook built in. It has videos from your instructors built in. And it also has a nice feature. If you have a homework thing you have to do, you actually code it up in part of your web browser. And by hitting a button, it'll immediately go through a test and you know if your program is working. Okay. So now Graham Krause will take us through the integrated computer science program.
Oh, thanks, Scott. So hi, Graham Leach Krause. I'm the director of the integrated computer science major, which is a major housed in the College of Arts and Sciences. It's called integrated computer science because the idea is fundamentally that you're going to take computer science concepts and you're going to integrate them with a course of study in some other area of the university. So it's kind of, you're taking computational thinking and programming skills and you're applying them to some sort of domain outside of computer science where those skills are useful. So the structure of the degree is basically 4 parts. The first part, Scott just described this, is pretty similar to the computational core certificate. So you have that same set of computer science courses which get you set up with programming in Python or Java and just get you to a level where you can kind of architect your own computer programs and kind of build out your own designs. The second part are some computer science electives, which let you add some additional skills that might be applicable in more specialized domains. So things like web design or system administration or working with databases. The third part, so this might need a little more explanation, are integration electives. So the integration electives are classes that are taught in the College of Arts and Sciences rather than the College of Engineering. And what these classes do is connect computer programming to things that are closer to human life. So to the arts and humanities, to the history of technology, to the cultural impacts that technological changes have on society, and also to sort of moral questions that software engineers sometimes have to cope with, or moral questions that we can ask about how technology affects all of our lives. So those are the sorts of things that you study in the integration electives. They're kind of divided up into 3 areas, and you can have your pick in how you spread your classes around within those areas. There's some distribution requirements, but basically you have some flexibility there in what classes you take. Okay, and the last ingredient in the integrated computer science major is a concentration area. So this is a sort of a course of study anywhere throughout the university that makes up 18 or more credit hours. So this could be a major or a minor in the College of Arts and Sciences, so you could major in biology or graphic design, or it could be a certificate in the College of Business. So you could get a marketing certificate or something like that if you'd like to take your computer skills in a more like entrepreneurial direction. So it's that last ingredient, concentration, that kind of gives the integrated computer science degree a whole lot of flexibility, because basically you can pick whatever you want to, and then you can add computer skills to that and turn it into something new. Okay, so I think we can probably go to the next slide. Okay, So basically, this is the structure of the programming classes that you want to take. So there's the required computer science courses, and that's basically the same structure as the computational core certificate. And then we've got a bunch of different computer science electives, which are also online, but you work a little more closely with your instructor at these more advanced levels. And you can learn about full stack web development. So full stack means both client side in the browser and server side. So design, like working with applications that kind of send web pages out onto the internet. Computer systems administrator, database essentials. So learning about SQL and the programming languages that you use to kind of query databases, applied data science, and then special topics, which kind of can vary in its content. Okay. So the nice thing about the way that integrated computer science kind of dovetails with the computational core certificate is that you can start with the computational core certificate. And then if you feel like you want to go further and get some of these more specialized electives, you can take it to the next level with integrated computer science. Or the other way around, right? You give integrated computer science a try, and at some point you feel like I've got what I need, then you can sort of still complete the computational core certificate and have a credential for the work that you did without necessarily needing to complete the entire course of study. So there's this, so Scott mentioned that the degrees are stackable, and those are some of the advantages to organizing things that way. Okay, I think we can go. Yeah, great. Okay, so integrated computer science is a degree in the College of Arts and Sciences. So you have the standard distribution requirements for getting like a Bachelor of the Arts or a Bachelor of Science in Arts and Sciences. So that means that you take classes in a couple of standard distribution areas. So you learn sort of some writing skills, some public speaking skills. You get a broad background in the humanities. You learn some things about the social sciences. So, you know, anthropology, sociology. And you'll have some exposure to natural sciences and to some classes on kind of like broadening your multicultural background. So these are sort of soft skills that we found employers were pretty interested in, and they thought that the combination of computer programming skills with that broader set of soft skills was a pretty compelling value proposition when we were doing the research for the integrated computer science degree. Okay. So if you are doing a Bachelor of Science, then you'll also be taking just sort of a natural science kind of lab class and a little bit more quantitative reasoning. So one nice thing is that in the College of Arts and Sciences, you can kind of handle one of your qualitative reasoning requirements by taking a programming course, which you will be doing. And then also, you know, you'll often take college algebra, intro to statistics. That's sort of like a standard quantitative curriculum. Of course, if you want to go much further, you can do that. You can take your concentration area in anything that you're interested in, but just for the College of Arts and Sciences, those are the quantitative degree requirements. And then there's this sort of international studies overlay. Now, if you want to do a Bachelor of Arts, then instead of doing all that sort of natural science and additional quantitative stuff, you only need one quantitative course, which is usually college algebra, and then you work on a foreign language. So that can be one advanced upper level course or like a sequence of classes that take you through learning an entirely new language. Okay. So I think that's the structure of the BS and the BA. So I think that's back to you, Scott.
All right. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the master's degree in computer science. So if you have, you know, an undergraduate degree in computer science and you're interested in a master's, we also have just recently, I think now about a year and a half ago, put the entire master's in computer science online. And it's a very flexible degree, as a lot of master's degrees are. Basically, you're required to take 30 credit hours of graduate level work up, and you can transfer in 10 graduate level credit hours, if you have them at another school or something. So at least 20 of those will be done here at K-State. Essentially, the coursework for our master's degree, make sure you have a broad background that's a little deeper than you would get in a bachelor's degree. So we have basically 6 areas there. We have our implementation area, which demonstrates that you can actually implement a significant piece of software. That can be filled by either taking our compiler course or operating system course or doing an independent project. Then there's the languages component. Again, you can fulfill that taking the compiler's program, a programming language course, or a software specification course. And then there's the systems level, piece of coursework where operating systems, computer networks, or computer architecture and security would satisfy that requirement. Applications area such as security and reliability, or AI, or software design, or database. Then there's a theory requirement, so you have to take either formal language theory or analysis of algorithms. And then you have to take a specialization, which is essentially any 800 level course. And then you have several additional technical electives you take to fill up the 30 credit hours. And the way this works, you don't have to take all those courses you see there. You pick one in each area, and you can't use a course for 2 areas. So the implementation and languages both list our compiler course. You can only, if you take the compiler course, you have to pick one or the other. So there's no way to really shorten those requirements there. You take 6 courses there and to fulfill that basic requirement. Now, there are various options you can take. There is a thesis option, which you can take for 6 credits. So that 6 credits counts within your 30 credits. And so you would work with an individual professor there to do some research in an area of interest to both you and the professor. You could also do a report option. Hold on, my battery is running low. But my adapter is plugged in. I don't understand. Okay. Well, if I die and go away, you'll know what happened. There's also a report option, which is not as intensive as the thesis. It's only 3 credits. So you would take an additional traditional course and take 3 credits of a report option. And there is a non-thesis, non-report options that requires you actually take an extra course, and you do have to do a presentation at the end of your degree. There we go. I hope I didn't miss something. Okay. So application. How do you apply? If we're talking about undergraduate admissions, if you have less than 24 college credits, you're considered a new freshman. You either have to have a high school GPA of 3.25, and it can be either weighted or unweighted. It doesn't matter. We'll take whatever your school gives us. Or you have to have an ACT of 21 or a SAT, and
we are having a thunderstorm starting here, so if we hit any more snags. Well, hopefully, Graham, are you able to share your screen?
So I am afraid that I'm not set up for screen sharing right now.
Oh, okay.
Could we for a
I
second?
can.
Yeah, if you would like to do that, then I can take over for Scott.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about at least the undergraduate application So actually,
Okay, great.
so let me bring that up real quick. So as Scott was saying, for the application process, the next deadlines we have are summer semester, which is May 1st. The following semester application deadline for our fall semester is August 1st. And by those deadlines, we would need not only your application, but we would also need any official transcripts. So if you are a freshman, identified as a freshman, which is less than 24 credit hours, we would need your high school official transcript and test scores if needed. And then also any college credits you took during high school, any dual credits that you had there, we would also need that as well. We also, if you are a transfer student, we wouldn't need, if you have, which is 24 or more credit hours, we would not need your high school information. We would only need your college credits. I do also want to point out that we also work with military. So if you have a joint services transcript, any other test scores, we would need those as well. You never know what might count. We always like to see what kind of background you have as well. For the graduate program, Graham, do you happen to know any details on that?
So that is not my area.
Okay.
I think that's more Scott.
Okay. So for most of our master's degrees, you need to have a bachelor's degree with a 3.0 minimum GPA in the final 2 years, or approximately your last 60 credit hours. For the, and I believe also some additional requirements for the master's degree, from what I can see on our website, is that your bachelor's degree in computer science would need to be from an ABET accredited institution. And then, oh, and I am getting an email from Scott. His power went out. So unfortunately oh no, yeah, we are having a thunderstorm here. And that was one of my worries when I heard thunder and lightning outside. So, but yes, so, but anyway, going back to the master's application requirements, it also looks like if you don't have a bachelor's degree from an ABET accredited school, you would need to complete your graduate record examination, your GRE. And so along with your application, you would want a personal statement, names and emails of 3 professional references, and then unofficial transcripts is what they accept for the master's degrees. And we do have some graduate admission representatives that can help you with this if you have any questions about that. I'm going to give Scott a few more minutes, but I don't think we're going to be able to finish. But I am going to put here in the chat an email to where you can write myself if I am not able to, if I'm not able to answer your question. I can always get you in touch with but then also, like I said, we have admission representatives for our graduate programs, and they know as they would be able to help you. And if they are not able to, we can get you in touch with Scott. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the email address that you can email to. And then there was one question. I think it would be for the undergraduate, possibly, Graham. A lot of the classes look like classes they took as an undergrad. Is there any way to test out of some classes?
Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about the College of Arts and Sciences requirements, then it should be possible to just kind of transfer your old credits over. So you don't need to take any classes like a second time. It would be like coming back to get an additional major. And basically you would just need to get the stuff that you don't have so far. So that would probably just be the programming classes and the integration electives. And then you can use your previous major as a concentration.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions that anyone is thinking of right now? Probably more for our undergrads, since Scott unfortunately is not able to hop back on. I did put our email in there. We are recording this as well. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, and we'll be sending that out to everyone within 7 business days once our marketing team gets that up on YouTube. And also as a thank you for everyone attending, we are offering application fee waivers for the summer and fall semester. So if you are interested in applying, go ahead and email us at that email address. And we'd be happy to walk through that application process and how to apply that application fee waiver. Just as a thank you for taking the time tonight out of your busy schedules. I am also going to, let me bring that page back up. I'm also going to include a link to our scholarships. We do have some great scholarships that are only for our online students that you can apply for. The deadline for the summer semester is April 1st. So coming up this Friday, actually, now that I think, and that is the summer semester scholarship application. But for the fall semester scholarship application, that opens up on April 15th through June 1st. So the deadlines and the application are all on that website that I included in the chat. I'm just going to do, unfortunately, I don't think Scott's going to be able to come back on, but we are happy to answer any questions. So please email us. For those of you in Kansas near our area, stay safe with this storm, apparently. But I'm going to do a last call for any questions about any of our computer science programs or the application process.
So it looks like Peyton's question was actually about the master's program.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, so I think probably the thing to do there would be for Peyton to reach out to Scott or somebody in the College of Engineering to get the details about what's needed to kind of place out. There was also a good question from Haley C. That I typed an answer to, and so it might have fallen off your radar. So Haley was just asking whether the integrated computer science concentration needs to necessarily be a major, minor, or certificate, or if it can be just kind of like any collection of classes. And the answer is that it doesn't need to be a major, minor, or certificate. There is something called an interdisciplinary concentration option, and we have a pretty big range of classes that you can take as part of that interdisciplinary concentration option. And if you just take 18 credits of those, then you're good to go. And also, if you have 18 credit hours in some area of study that doesn't correspond to like a recognized program at the university, then we can kind of go on a case-by-case basis. And there's a way that integrated computer science can get that recognized.
Perfect. Thank you. I did put Scott's email in the chat just in case, Peyton, you had any questions, or if anybody else had some questions about the master's curriculum or need to follow up. I don't see any new questions. So again, I want to thank everybody. Graham, also thank you for taking time out of your schedule, and and Scott, I know he'll get a copy of this recording. So everyone stay safe out there, and thank you again for joining us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.